Reels, where you're going to see the greatest innovation and technology worked on by the final set of companies. So right now you're going to be hearing from AssetLink, Estately, Pulse360, RISR, and Uptiq. And make sure you stay involved in the chats, the polls, stick in the sidebar, make sure you're staying up to date on what's happening and what everyone's voting on. And don't forget that this is the final session that you can vote for the AdviceTech Live Awards. They're going to be given out in just a short amount of time. Thank you so much, and let's get it started. I am excited to introduce a first-time sponsor of AdviceTech Live, Devon Drew, CEO and founder of AssetLink. AssetLink is a bit of a new technology on the block, so I'm really excited for you all to check it out if it's your first time seeing it. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Devon.
Hello, my name is Devon Drew, and I'm the founder and CEO of AssetLink. At AssetLink, we are on a mission to unlock the power of your data. There's no denying that we are in the midst of an intelligence revolution. But if your firm is like most other wealth management firms, your data is not AI ready. And that's for several reasons. One, over 80% of your data is in unstructured formats. So formats that can't talk to each other. You're thinking PDFs can't talk to an Excel file, can't talk to an HTML, can't talk to a picture, can't talk to a video, right? So what that leads to is that it's very hard for those networks to determine the feasibility between the information and the intelligence that are on these documents. And because of that, most wealth management firms only are able to access 30% of their data. And if you look industry-wide, in 2023 alone, between the asset and wealth management industry, over $84 billion a year was spent on data and technology. That's a big number for not being able to leverage or use technology to access that data. But we have good news. We've created AssetLink, which is an AI solution that unlocks the data for the wealth management industry. We provide data transformation, unification, data visualization with an AI overlay for efficient business expansion, saving firms time, saving firms money, and saving firms headcount. Because of our solution, we've been awarded a lot of top industry awards, such as Investment News. We've been finalists back to back for organizations like wealthmanage.com. We were in the Northwestern Mutual Accelerator Program. We also are a Google for Startups Accelerator, giving us the credence and the resources to help build out a top flight fintech solution. Now let's talk about like what is possible when your data is AI readable. When your data is AI readable, everything talks to each other, right? So your discovery data syncs up with your Zoom info, syncs up with your Crunchbase, syncs up with your CRM, syncs up with your emails, and how you correspond. So because of that, we're able to unlock actionable intelligence for the following use cases. First is client relation intelligence. Imagine a world where your Zoom info is linked with your smart asset, which is linked with your Crunchbase, which is linked with your white pages, which is linked to your email correspondence, which is linked to your LinkedIn. If all of those are talking and all of those are in the same format, then you're able to retrieve all of that information, saving you time, money, and headcount. So the first use case is client relation intelligence, allowing you as the advisor in the firm to gain deeper insights into your clients or prospective clients. Also, sales enablement. Because your data is now AI readable, now that opens you up for next best action. Because a client or prospective client did X, you should do Y. And it's also able to help you identify propensity to purchase. What data points within these data sources are giving you the actionable insights to allow you to know when the purchase will be made? We start talking about investment distribution. We all know the wholesaler model. We all know the advisors in the wholesalers is very friction-filled and cumbersome. So what we're able to do is optimize that strategy to increase efficiency, which leads to investment diligence, allowing you, the advisor, if all of the fact sheets in your systems, if all of the commentary that you relied on to provide to clients was AI readable, you're then able to source, discover, research investment solutions, all within seconds. Merger to acquisitions and recruiting. Now, there's no secret, whether it's private equity, investment banking, or RIA aggregators, M&A and recruiting, even on the wirehouse side, is getting more and more important. But with having your data AI readable, you're then able to identify your ideal target for business expansion. And how does this come about? Able to identify advisors by unifying data sources like Discovery or Fintrix data or first-party data that you've been collecting in years and years of meeting notes. Having those all in one uniform format allows you to retrieve that level of granularity you need. And then from an enterprise level, business planning, right? Business unit strategy and territory optimization. Also you think about what is possible from a client onboarding process, right? You're onboarding a client, having that strategy, all AI readable, allows you to identify different inefficiencies and friction in your onboarding process. Once again, saving you time, money, and headcount. And what I would like to do now is I'd like to show you what this platform looks like and what this technology looks like and what happens when you transform data to make it machine readable, when you then unify that data so that it all talks to each other, and then making it AI readable so you can retrieve it with actionable intelligence. So now you're seeing what this all looks like. This is unifying data from 5 different data sources, right? We're talking data packs from an organization, in this case, RBC, website data, data from different social platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn, and then also first-party data. So what we're able to do now is, if you are trying to get client relation intelligence with this as an example of, you're now going to see his job information, the advisor's AUM, area of expertise, contact information, investment parameters, right? So because we're able to unify also the SEC Form 13Fs, ADVs, you're now going to know that this advisor's average allocation size, cross-referencing with transaction reports, is between, 1 to 10 million. You're also going to know that he rebalances quarterly. You're going to know that his ideal client is a CEO of a tech company with income from 500,000 to 1 million. And then from his website, we're able to pick up on his investment strategy. We're also going to know, based off behavioral intent, the type of webinars he likes, right? Thought leadership, thematic, global equities, and then passions and interests. Then here's where it gets interesting. Being able to unify and transform social handles so we can then visualize it in your system, right? So now you're going to see, what this advisor, in this case, or client or prospect, is showing on LinkedIn or Facebook. You're able to turn all this into actionable intelligence. We're also able to pull also from X as well. And because we're able to measure engagements, we now know the known associates for the advisor. And then if you're using this as a perspective tool, as a tool to prospect, you're now going to know any type of similar profiles that are fit with that persona. Because we know the social element of it, we're now able to leverage our artificial intelligence to now know what is the best way to communicate with this advisor. We're going to know the do's. We're going to know the don'ts. We're going to be able, in real time, learn his personality trait, right? Think about this in your book of business. How helpful would this be if you're talking to end clients and you know how to talk to them? You're going to know the behavior. You're going to know areas of collaboration, and then you're going to have custom message template that goes along with it. But you know what? That is not even close to it, right? What we also want to do is provide you that actionable intelligence at the point of sale, whether you're doing meeting prep or you want that using your ear. You can now just talk to the AI. Hey, AssetLink, what is the best strategy to engage with Matt Haverty? So you give it a second, maybe 2 seconds. So now based on all the available data, we were able to transform, unify, and visualize. You know that Matt expects the global stock market averages to soon go to all-time high ground. However, he does think China and Hong Kong markets are the notable exceptions. So focusing your discussions around Asian equities and small cap indexes is where you want to be. Now, the data signals also indicate that investing in the combating of aging should be talked about and can be implemented via the biotech industry. Now, here's where the social elements come in. To enhance the relationship, you want to invite them to Giracho, which is an authentic Mexican restaurant in Kansas City, Kansas. Or, hey, if it's basketball season, you want to bring them to a place like Talk of the Town for a KU basketball game. This is client relation intelligence demoed. And what I would like to leave you with in this use case could be whether it's a high net worth prospect, a next gen prospect, you're trying to look for advisors. It's all about unifying those data sources that used to be inaccessible because of the formats they're in. So this gives you everything you need to be able to effectively speak to the advisor. As I mentioned, part of our value proposition is being able to visualize the data we're able to unify in your CRM systems. So whether it's Salesforce or Microsoft Dynamics, we can not only visualize it, but we could also save you money on storage because you're not actually storing the data within Salesforce. We're just visualizing with our over 50 Lightning components that we've custom built. Now, for an additional use case, and what is the power of unlocking your data? Let's talk about clients and prospective clients, right? Let's say you're looking for a direct index solution, right? You have your approved list, you have your CIO insights, but what's important to some clients is the knowing who they are. So what we're able to do is the same type of process. We're able to transform your data. We're able to unify data for clients and prospective clients of retail and high net worth individuals. And then what we're able to do is visualize that data on Salesforce and then able to see that same type of intelligence tool that we're able to pull and discern a knowledge base around off of Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and any type of node associates from there. What gets really interesting is because our AI has transformed their social handles and platforms, we're able to pick up on what's important to them. And because of that, we're able to use our AI and we're able to, same thing, have the do's and the don'ts when communicating with the client or prospective client. I think where it gets really interesting is when you ask our AI to, hey, AssetLink, can you construct a portfolio that takes into account Mayor Robinson's, Carter's passions and interests? So now portfolio construction doesn't take minutes, hours, days. It takes seconds. So now based off of the client's passions and interests, we're able to customize a portfolio based off of that, right? So you already have your CIO insights, you have your market strategist, you have your approved list, you have your matrices and your portfolios that you already use. You're able to then use that information and be able to create a customized portfolio, including what the clients or prospective clients are currently utilizing. And now you're able to view the proposal and have portfolio construction in the presentation. Now let's talk what's possible when you make your investment decisions AI readable. Think about all the wholesalers that are beating down your door, thinking about all the fact sheets, all the pictures. Wouldn't it be nice to just go and select the solutions you're interested in and let AI do the work for you? And that's what we've created with another use case of AssetLink. Being able to choose the solutions you're interested in, have the content that is applicable to what you're looking for. That's all real time. And then based off of what you're looking for, then have your top matches of the asset managers or solutions providers that are in your territory. So gone are the days of the friction-filled and cumbersome process of fund discovery and distribution. Now what we're able to do is just ask it what you're looking for. Hey, AssetLink, I'm looking for a sustainable investment solution, preferably an ETF that goes to better mankind. So now what happens is based off of what you're looking for, it now goes to your entire territory and pulls in asset managers with the wholesaler that has what you're looking for. So now we're able to click on this gentleman. We're then able to view the fact sheet. So now, and excuse it's a little blurry, but now what you're able to do is source, discover, and diligence investment solutions at your fingertips. And then what you're able to do is, as you know, probably most people, if they're trying to say some investment solution, they probably have more than one thing to talk about. So now what we're able to do is you're able to go to the wholesaler's profile, who has their also data unified. And then you're going to be able to know what are your areas of collaboration. So now you're able to know you and Thomas P. Kiley share these sectors based off of your 13F, your transaction reports, your data, sustainable investing, healthcare, consumer staples. You have a shared knowledge base, your knowledge base on sustainable investing, Thomas's on small cap value, so you can collaborate there. And then the available data suggests that you and Thomas should also discuss Calamos's Global Growth Fund with custom message template that can go out to clients with that approved fact sheet or commentary. So gone are the days of getting your days interrupted day after day, time after time by investment wholesalers trying to sell you what you don't want. The power of the AI is in the data unifying the fact sheets and the commentary and what you're looking for, and you're able to streamline that process of discovery. That's a discovery diligence. So you have what you want, when you want, how you want, saving you time, saving you money, and saving you that $150,000 analyst potentially. So what I've showed you is actionable ways to leverage AI in your business. And it starts with unlocking the power of your data. Please join us at AssetLink as we look to unlock the data for every firm within the wealth management ecosystem, saving everybody billions a year to their bottom line. You can reach me directly at devon@assetlink.ai. Our website is assetlink.ai, and on all social platforms at @AssetLink. Thank you for the time and your consideration.
Thank you so much, Devon. That is exciting stuff. We talk so much in our industry about making sure that our financial data is connecting over and we have insight into the great data that is, included in our clients' finances. But so much, more could be talked about. And through your platform, we're able to do so in making sure that you're connecting with people on a more personal level, and being able to grab that data through all those platforms that you just told us about is truly an amazing experience. And thank you so much for showing us that. I can't wait to get started on this one, as it's my first time seeing a proper demo of Estately. And today we have Jenny Shaw Spradling from Estately, CEO and co-founder. Jenny, so nice to have you here today.
Very nice to be here. Thanks, Allison.
Absolutely.
So I'm Jenny, the CEO of Estately. At Estately, we are bringing you estate planning right out of the box. You can get in-house value-added services for your client as a service. So just jumping into a little bit about what that looks like and how we got here. So I helped start FreeWill over almost 10 years ago with my co-founder, Patrick. We really came out with a mission to provide estate planning access to everyone in the United States. And we've gotten pretty far. Now, almost 10 years in, we have over 1 million Americans who have completed their estate planning on the platform, making us by far and away the leading provider of digital estate planning. It's also the most trusted resource. We've never had an issue in 8+ years. And on top of that, clients really love the experience. You can check out our ratings on Trustpilot, genuine reviews from real people who went out there and used it. We also, as a public benefit corporation, really wanted to make it easy for people to leave money to charity. We are at over $10 billion of commitments, and it's something that still deeply matters to myself and Patrick today. So how did FreeWill become Estately? Well, the short answer is a lot of financial advisors kept inbounding, asking us to make something that was specific for them. Many financial advisors and lawyers have found us through their clients using us in order to complete their estate plan drafts and finding that the outputs are actually really good. And so when they came to us, they kind of said, hey, there's some estate planning software out there that exists, but we really love how easy this is, how warm, intuitive, and usable it is. Plus, the quality is excellent. Can you make us something that would help us provide estate planning at a scalable way to all of our clients? And so we kind of heard the same themes coming up for what the problems were with estate planning today as part of financial advisor practices. There's the first bit, which is we want to do estate planning. We tell our clients that they should do it, but they never get it done. There's a second piece, which is it's just the expense. It's really unfortunate that I have to add something right off the bat with a new client on the checklist that requires them to outlay money when I'm trying to provide them more additional service. And the third piece, which is I have an existing estate planning solution that sort of works, but I'm kind of out of the loop. After I make that referral to a lawyer, it kind of goes into a black box. I don't know where my client is in the process, and I certainly don't know if it matches up with the rest of the financial plan that I'm putting together. So we tried to solve all three of these problems by creating Estately. Estately is a product that is custom made just for financial advisors. It provides financial advisors with all the workflow tools that they need in order to be part of the estate planning process and make the process super easy for their clients. We'll go more into the specifics around the product and features in a little bit, but before we do that, I wanted to mention this point, which is clients are demanding estate planning from their financial advisors. You all have probably heard it. You've seen the great uptick in software providers in the space. Clients are saying it is the number one most valuable additional service that they could be getting from their financial advisors. That was from a McKinsey study in 2023. And the vast majority of folks working with financial advisors do anticipate creating or updating an estate plan in the next couple of years. The greatest part about adding estate planning as a value-added service to your client is not only is it something that can help retain clients, but actually it increases business as well. We found in our work with one of the largest RIAs in the US so far that clients who do their estate planning with that RIA are 3 times more likely to refer new clients than folks who don't. And we'll see some of the ways in which the products and features within Estately actually makes that process really easy. So with Estately, we've built estate planning drafting for every client using both digital and attorney-led ways of estate planning. We're the first platform to incorporate both of those things in a seamless way. And we put financial advisors right in the center. They are the quarterback of the process. So how exactly does this platform work? Well, first, you're going to get a custom marketing page for you to be able to present this new amazing benefit that you're offering your clients, which is estate planning. With that, you're going to be able to easily invite your clients to create will-based estate plans, trust-based estate plans, or different derivatives that they might need. Those clients can also complete questionnaires to help guide them through, hey, what exactly do I need from an estate plan? And that will help guide them through the process while also giving a good conversation point for you and your client to be having together. Once they go all the way through the process, and usually it's a 70% completion rate that goes to this first problem of actually getting estate planning done, clients are able to download the estate plan, which is a fully valid drafted estate plan. Then they can go and print, sign, and notarize, witness, do anything else that they need to execute. All the specific instructions for what they need to do in order to get the documents executed will be included in that plan. And along with that, they're going to get a beautiful visualization of exactly what is included in this legal document. That again makes it really easy for you, the financial advisor, to have a conversation with your client about what the estate plan actually includes and whether or not it aligns with the rest of what you've talked about within your financial plans. It's also a great place to unearth other assets that could be really important for you to know about as their financial advisor. The key thing here is that estate planning is not just a handoff. We bring together the client, advisor, and also attorneys, which we'll talk about in just a minute, together in one platform. Clients can select one of 2 ways in order to do their drafting. They can do it themselves through this online digital flow. This is a good fit for clients who have less complicated estate plans, folks who make up 95% of Americans who maybe have, basic needs around guardians for their kids, how they want to distribute their assets. Maybe they are above the tax exemption threshold for estate taxes in their state. These are folks who can use that more digital path. We also have a separate path that is fully embedded around actually having attorneys draft more advanced estate plans. This is a use case for two different types of clients. There are some clients who just want to be handheld. They just want to work with a real person and attorney. There's another group of clients who just have more advanced needs than what they can really realistically navigate themselves. It brings all of this together in a way that allows the advisor to be helpful in the areas where they can, for example, inserting basic information, but also prevents advisors from accidentally practicing law, which is something that we obviously want to avoid. As I mentioned, there are these two different paths, the more digital self-directed path and the attorney-led path. In the self-directed path, a client can go through the whole estate planning process and it's for free, going to that second big pain point of you as an advisor bringing up something that needs to be done estate planning and the client being able to get it done at no additional cost to them. If a client decides to go the attorney-led route, we will match them with an attorney that's barred in their state, and that attorney is actually going to use our drafting software in the background to get all their needs met around more complex estate plans. All of this comes together in one platform so that the advisor can see where the client is throughout the process, regardless of which path they choose. If a client decides to use this attorney-led path, there is additional cost to that. Ultimately, that's up to the client to do. We believe at Estately that lawyers are truly a solution, not just a feature. They are getting a bunch of value in this too. Instead of having to use maybe Wealth Counsel or just Word docs in order to draft their own documents, they actually get access to our estate planning drafting software in order to draft things in the background. This not only means that we have a single data platform with all the information from both attorneys and digital in one place, but also means that lawyers actually get to speed up their process. They get to save on costs, and we pass those savings and costs forward to the clients. As I mentioned earlier with the referrals, this is also a great way to increase your business as an advisor. We outline all the different beneficiaries, the various nominees that come up throughout the process that could be great clients as part of your firm and practice. We also provide really easy, accessible, white-labeled content that allows any financial advisor to provide the basics around estate planning to their clients. Finally, maybe the best part, the price. Not only is the platform a fixed fee for the firm for the year, that means unlimited new clients, new documents created and updated over the course of the year. But on top of that, your clients are going to get lifetime access to the platform for free forever. Like I said, if they want to go see an attorney, there's going to be additional costs to that, but we are able to keep those costs as low as possible thanks to our drafting platform. That's everything for me. Again, I'm Jenny. I'm the CEO of Estately. Feel free to find us at getestately.com.
That was really cool. First of all, we don't want anybody pretending to be an attorney. So I definitely think that that is something that everyone needs to keep in mind, but showing the benefits of how it really supports the client, the attorney, and the financial advisor and all of their goals. I mean, what a fantastic presentation. I can't wait to find out more about Estately. And that was a really, really great intro for me. And I really hope everyone goes and visits your booth, finds out all about it, and the great content that you've uploaded. So thank you so much to you and Estately for being here this week.
Thanks, Allison.
Thank you so much. Continue supporting our theme of helping advisors do what's most important and what's best with their clients and improve their relationships along the way. We've got to work on a little bit of platforms that talk a little bit about and support you with compliance. And our next speaker, Anand Sheth, CEO and founder of Pulse360, has found the best way to combine note-taking and compliance and making it easy for everybody. So let's bring on my friend Anand. Hello there. How are you doing?
Hi, Allison. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for being here again as a repeat sponsor, and we can't wait to see what you guys have been up to at Pulse360. Take it away.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Just to kind of give you all a background, I myself was in your shoes in the advisor world for about 2 decades. I've done everything from serve coffee to clients to compliance. So what I'm going to share with you today, I'm excited about because I myself have banged my head against the wall over 2 decades of trying to solve some mundane problems that prevent us from delivering that amazing client experience, but also make sure that we are properly protected around compliance as well. With Pulse360, the idea we went about solving for you as advisors is to how do you deliver that amazing, that high-touch client level of experience? That takes a lot of work, right? And so, for example, when we're looking at this, you may be thinking, my God, that's so hard. You're going to need an army of people to solve that. But it actually doesn't have to be hard. What you need to do is you need to think in terms of having all of your ducks in a row, right? This means having systems and, more importantly, an organization system. This is how you're able to deliver that extra service to your clients. Let me go through as an example right here of how you can deliver certain experiences to your clients, starting with simple meeting summaries. As you're seeing here, this is one of our example summary, but you can also prepare financial planning documents. You're also spending time perhaps creating a goal or bucket list for your client, but you may not be just because there's not enough time in the day. And what about you met with the client for 3-4 years? How do you bring about what their values are, what their beliefs are? They've told you this across different meetings over 3, 4, 5 years of time frame, right? This is where documentation really comes in handy. Now, how all of this comes together is if you sit yourself up in a meeting that's coming up with a client or a phone call or an email that has come through, you're collecting quite a lot of data, right? A lot of information about the client's likes, dislikes, beliefs, what their goals are, what their values are, what their risk tolerance is and all of this. So what do we do normally, right? Normally we'll go and we'll capture all of this, either handwrite them, record the meetings. We'll go in and then we'll take the most next best step that we have, which is dropping all of this in the CRM. Well, folks, I'm here to tell you that as much as we believe that this is the right way, I have come to find out that there's actually a challenge. Yes, information needs to get in the CRMs. They're great for that. But there's a middle layer that you are missing out. And you'll know you're missing this out because, like most of us, when you come back 6 months later to look at a client, you're going to be looking at the CRM and trying to figure out, okay, what are we talking about? What are we supposed to do? If you've had this feeling, this is exactly where we've built Pulse360 for you. This is why we've named the company Pulse. We want to give you a pulse on what's happening in your client's life and how that's important. That starts with not just capturing the information, but a middle layer, what we call the organization structure. This is how you can take all of that data and start to make sense of it, as you're seeing here in the picture. And then you're also looking at how you can then use this to deliver an amazing client experience with documentations or just over the phone or when they walk through the door. Let's show you how Pulse360 helps there. First, we've recently launched something called Capture Genius. This allows you to record your meetings. I'm sure you have seen lots of meeting note takers that have come about. We have our own version where we join Zoom or Microsoft Teams, or you can even dictate or record in-person meetings, and you can take all of that in as the data that comes in. Once that's done, then we have that middle layer. The most important layer for you is we help you organize. We have something called Note Genius, which are AI agents that help you organize all of this information as you're seeing here so that you have a clearer picture at any point in time, right? And not just you, but your whole team can be on the same page. And that's an important element, right? And then from there, you're able to then use our deliverables templates to generate lots of different types of communication that blow the socks off your clients. And this is what we have built with Pulse360 as a system, an operating system to help you capture, organize, document, and scale your advice. I'm going to now jump in to show you exactly how this will work. We'll take an example of recording a meeting. So with Pulse360, you can click on and say you're going to invite a bot into a Zoom or Teams or Google Meet, or you can upload an audio or video file. You can also do a dictation if you needed to, or do an in-person meeting, all from here. Once that is done, your meeting is complete, they're taking the notes. What you will end up with is a full transcript of that call, right? So here we've come through for an hour and a half worth of meeting that I have captured. You can now go over to the AI summary because nobody's going to read through that. So you can just click AI summary. And I wish I had this back in 20 years ago when I was in the field, right? This in less than 30 seconds has now summarized an hour's worth of meeting, or an hour and a half's worth of meeting, into here's everything we've talked about and here's what you need to do. It also puts a financial table together. And something unique to us that we really like is it captures nuances. For example, I like sparkling water and we have a dog named Stella, right? These are nuances that help you deliver that Ritz-Carlton type of client experience. And we have a system based behind this to organize all of this. From here, what you could do is you could say, let me organize and create tasks in the CRM or workflows, and also send an email. With Pulse360, basically, we just click on something called Node Genius. We have 3 AI assistants available to you. Liliana version 2 is our latest, so I'll have her work now. She is reading what I highlighted, as well as then going to create an email, organize everything with tags even, and create tasks in the CRM. So let's go through this. So for example, in this meeting, we had talked about education planning, and now it has already written out as a bullet point that goes to the client under the education. Again, this is the critical organization layer that you're getting, as well as this next step. It's automatically tagging this as a goal for me, right? So I can later on surface all of this up. As I go through here, these are different elements. Here's, we're talking about investments and 401k, and it's already applied an IPS tag, which is the investment policy statement. So in case anytime I'm making any recommendations, I can just pull up the IPS. This is not the statement or document, but it shows you what you need to be focusing on. When you finish with all of this, the output you get is something like this, right? Which is where we're preparing a full document for you that looks non-AI. You can see we've captured their values, beliefs, with our action items. We're creating client to-dos, for example, as you can see fit over here. So this entire PDF can be generated using Pulse360 right after you go through this process. So folks, the most important element that I want to share here with you is, yes, you can run a meeting recorder, but it's the next step, getting organized. As you can see here, we have all of our notes organized with the different tags and systems. Estate planning has a goal, for example, investment meeting has the next meeting, so that I can bring this up in the future. The goal is getting you scalable, right? Getting you organized now so that you have more capacity later on. Now, with that said, I want to give you all a sneak peek onto something that we're excited to be releasing shortly. So with Pulse360, soon you'll be able to bring in data. We're connecting with our partners at Holistiplan. You just saw a demo of them. And what we're going to show you is how we can prepare, for example, in this case, a meeting agenda, but you need to have certain information at your fingertips, right? I used to do this a lot for advisors so that they feel prepared going into the meeting. I need to know, for example, what are the tax rates, average tax rate, what is the income and whatnot. What we can do now with Pulse360, and this is brand new that's coming, is we're going to go say, all right, pick your client from Holistiplan and the year that you want, and we're replacing that right in Pulse360. So you don't need to jump around and try and find all of this. As preparation comes, it cuts down your staff's time immensely because they're jumping around trying to get all of this data. Just like that, I now have my information and it's filled that out. As you can see my document on the right side. Let me just open that up a little bit more and you'll see how now I have my information that I just pulled from there. With that said, I'd love to share with you how you can access Pulse360. We're also introducing something called Journeys, Pulse Journeys. Now, these are how you can have a system around converting your prospects. How do you go about client onboarding? How do you wow your clients, right? Driving referrals. So give us a look at Pulse360.com. I look forward to that. Thank you so much.
Anand, thank you so much. And what I'm noticing this year is AdviceTech Live 2024 is definitely a place to launch some new integrations. And it's no different with you. That integration with Holistiplan looks like a huge time saver, a great way for advisors to get some data that might be living in their tax returns for their clients right into Pulse360, which is obviously very exciting. And that's a coming soon item, yes?
Yes, in fact, I'm hoping to launch this right before Thanksgiving.
Oh, wonderful. Well, congratulations to you and the Holistiplan team. I cannot wait to see it in action. And thank you so much for being here again this year.
Thank you so much.
One of the newer companies on the block that I can't wait for everyone to get a preview into if you haven't seen it yet is RISR. So today we have Corey Siegfried, COO at RISR, who's going to be giving you a great demo on what RISR is all about. And Corey, how are you doing?
Great. How are you, Allison?
I'm doing good. It's great to see you again, and can't wait for you to show everyone what you guys are all about.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be here. Thanks for having us, and excited to show everyone what we've built. So let's launch into it. So RISR, we're a newer company, as Allison mentioned, and what we're focused on is helping advisors provide better advice to their private business owner clients. We have a strong belief that you've lacked the technology and tools to properly serve this market, and forever you've had the planning tools for the whole household, right? An e-money, money guide to plan generationally, but you've lacked the resources for business owners. And why this is important, there's a massive wealth transfer happening with business owners. The stats are out there, but millions of dollars are transferring each day as owners transition out of their businesses. It's called the silver tsunami. There are many different phrases for it, but this is one that we believe advisors need to capitalize on by giving better advice to those owners who are seeking it. And to that end, a lot of these owners don't have great advice being given to them today, right? 65% of small business owners don't have an advisor, period. And the areas they need help in, whether it's insurance and risk management, succession planning, tax, retirement, all areas that you can serve, but haven't had the right tools or technology to do so. So that's where RISR steps in to help you. And why we believe advisors need better tools to help the advisors grow their business? Well, first off, their data is disparate and disorganized. It's hard to access. You've gone through the trouble of asking a business owner to provide financial data, forget about it. It takes months. So we've tried to aggregate that and make it easy. We believe that great advice requires deep insights. So we serve those up in our report, and we can show you how we do that. And then sometimes the owner is unsure of how this business fits into their overall life plans, right? How does this help fund my retirement? Is it going to? Is it enough to fund all my needs? Help me identify that as a business owner. So what we're doing is placing them at the center of this relationship and helping you plan with the owner on how this is going to impact their life. What we offer is a fully white labeled solution. And again, we're simplifying the data capture for this interaction to occur. And then we're serving up personalized insights that'll create conversations between you and the business owner on an ongoing basis. And how we do that is we help you provide a delightful experience. And what we'll show you is how you can capture this data through a deep integration into QuickBooks or by uploading tax returns today, how we can generate these personalized insights in minutes, and then how you help the clients plan for their financial futures. And what we're talking about is the current valuation versus dream value. If your business is worth $5 million today, that's great. But based on all your retirement goals, your needs, and all the wants and wishes, it may need to be worth more. How do you identify that today? Right? That's what we help you do. Then we provide the growth opportunities through the key insights, and then the risks facing the business that may be impacting its value today that you can easily mitigate to help transferable value. So let's walk through it. We'll show you how we serve up these talking points for meaningful conversations between you and the business owner. Things around, again, insurance and tax planning, risk management, succession, exit, everything that you want to have a meaningful conversation with them about. So this is our advisor dashboard. And I'm going to click through the slides to show you what our experience is like. From here, you would add the business owner as a client. And you have an option to invite them in through an email invitation or to send them a link or you can enter the data on your own to generate the report. After the client creates their login, we greet them here, and what we're asking the business to go through is a series of 12 questions. The majority of them are qualitative, and then we streamline the financial data gathering up front, as I mentioned. The 3 ways we can take in the financial information, the first being QuickBooks Online, which is just like account aggregation. So they can link their credentials and we're pulling the information instantaneously. If the user doesn't have QuickBooks Online, we next prompt them to upload tax returns here. We utilize AI, specifically OCR technology, to read the returns, take the financial data out, render it into our platform, and discard of the return immediately. The other option is you can key this in by hand if you prefer. That is still an option we provide you. What we're looking for are 3 years of financial data. So here's an income statement that we serve up first. We can use 1 year of information, and we're going to use this to synthesize a range of value. We run 3 valuation models at one time to find what this business is worth. So you know what they are pretty quickly. One is a revenue multiple and an EBITDA multiple based on pure transaction level data that we have, and the other is a capitalized income approach. So as we answer qualitative questions that I'm about to show you, we're assessing specific company risk that factors into the end value, specifically the cap rate that we're building. Then we have a balance sheet for assets and liabilities for the most recent year. And then we begin the qualitative questions around the industry that they're in today, to find the multiple that applies based on our underlying data set of transaction history. How many customers does the business have? But more importantly, how much revenue are their top 2 clients generating? Is there any concentrated client risk? For earnings quality, what's the split between recurring and one-time revenues for the business? Is there any one vendor that they may be relying on too much for their production or revenue? Is there any risk associated with that vendor going out of business? How much do they expect their top line to grow next year? Who maintains their financial records? Do they do it themselves, which could be a risk? Do they work with a bookkeeper or CPA? Do you have one that you can introduce them to if they don't work with one currently? How dependent is the business on the owner? And we ask, what's the likelihood the business would decline in value or revenue or profitability if the owner had disappeared today? And then the same principle with key employees. If there's anyone critical to the business and they left, would that lead to less profitability or revenue? How likely is that? From a risk management perspective, do they have any of these insurance policies today on the owner or the business? And lastly, we talk about the dream value and the outcome. What does a successful exit look like for this business owner? Do they want to sell, transition, or shut down the company one day? But more importantly, what's the amount of capital they need from exiting their business to support their retirement goals? If you've built them a personal financial plan, you may have done a gap analysis or a needs analysis. They say, well, in this case, the owner needs $10 million from a liquidity event to fund all of their retirement goals. If they don't know that, or if you don't, we provide a calculator, and this is focused on the income from the proceeds of the asset. So what's the amount of annual income this business owner would like in retirement, and when would they want to retire from the business? A few assumptions are on this page, one being the end of the plan is 99 years old. We're backing into a number. So to say, okay, if this business owner wants to live off $250,000 of income for 34 years, the business needs to be worth $5.8 million on a pre-tax basis to fund that lifestyle in retirement. And we leave room for legacy items to be included. If you want any of the proceeds to go to philanthropy, gets to your grandkids, you can include that here. So for the business owner, this is the end of their journey. We'll serve them the current valuation range and show them their dream value based on their retirement goals. But for the full report, they have to come back to you for that information. What you can generate with that information is this report. It's a dashboard version of it, and I'll show you a preview of the PDF we can generate, but we highlight the current valuation range, show their dream value, and then based on those comps, right? Here's the EBITDA they need to achieve to exit at the dream value estimate. So how far away are they from doing that? There we provide growth opportunities and trajectory estimations to show you how much time it would take to get to there. Here's a preview of the PDF report we can generate. The summary page is just like the dashboard view. So to highlight that quickly, we show growth opportunities and key risks to the business. We provide beyond the numbers insights, so things that are planning-centered conversation starters. Specialized planning needs around succession and exit planning, estate planning. Are they properly covered with their insurance? Do they need a buy-sell agreement for the business? For growth opportunities on the right, you can see the EBITDA chart and the time it would take to get the business it would take to get to their dream value EBITDA. And then we provide some top and bottom line best practices for the business to consider that would help accelerate their growth. 2 more pages to share. The risk assessment. And our clients have told us they love this page because they're straight from the answers the business owner provides in that data flow, and we codify it as a high, medium, or low risk to the business. Things that it might be dragging on the transferable value today that if you mitigate could be impactful tomorrow. Things related around balance sheet risks, client concentration, ownership dependency, everything you'd want to have a conversation with the owner about before there's a liquidity event. Lastly, on the right, we always serve up a buy-sell page for review or implementation. Here's the equity value at risk today, the benefits and the mechanics of a buy-sell agreement, and what a potential structure could look like if we implemented one. Beyond this, we have a case study we can share with you, right? One of our advisors was able to pierce through a business where there was a co-owner who was a brother, and it brought everyone around the table where they were really quarterbacking the relationship. So they're able to bring in other parties such as centers of influence, accountants, and what have you, be part of the discussion. And we're hearing it from our community. It's been game changer to have this in the repertoire to engage in these conversations with business owners. So I'll pause there. What questions do you have for me, Allison? Or
wow.
wrap it up?
I mean, that was great. And, you know, for always working more on the financial planning side with advisors throughout my career, it seems like you really hit the nail on the head when you said it's almost like you're not guessing, but you're looking for workarounds to find that gap that people need to solve for the business that, you know, is going to be, you know, part of their future income and part of their future success. And, you know, you guys are solving it. And I think that's phenomenal. And what a really nice system to use. Seems extremely user-friendly and the reports are awesome. So my first time seeing it, and I am extremely impressed. That was excellent.
I appreciate it, Allison. Yeah, we're going through the lens of advice, and that's been what a game changer for us has been, is how we're building it to help enable better advice.
Oh, I love it. It's a huge gap, and talk about some great people giving you testimonials at the end there. So phenomenal presentation. Thanks again for being here. And everybody go check out RISR's booth and find out everything about them, as they're one of the newer kids on the block here at AdviceTech Live. What a phenomenal presentation. Thank you so much, Corey.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So I was able to see a preview into what Uptiq was all about just a couple of months ago, and we are so excited to have them here at AdviceTech Live. Today we have Jared Ingersoll, who is the Regional Sales Manager at Uptiq, and he's going to be telling us about what they are doing as far as what's really important to clients and knowing what their capabilities are with their advisors in just a minute. Hi, Jared. How are you doing?
Fabulous, Allison. Happy to be here.
Oh, good. So glad to have you, and please take it away.
Thanks, Allison. Hi, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves during AdviceTech Live, and I couldn't be more excited to be a part of the group closing out the event. Hope everyone's ready to end this with a bang. As Allison mentioned, I'm Jared Ingersoll. I'm a sales manager here representing Uptiq, and for today's session, we're going to be talking about lending services. We're all familiar with, and for the most part, comfortable talking about lending with our clients at a high level, just given its place alongside estate planning, tax planning, and insurance in the holistic financial planning ecosystem. I think most advisors are well aware that if you really want to be the go-to resource for all things finance related for your clients, you need to be prepared to help with lending in some capacity. But when you look at it more closely, the problem we face in the wealth industry is that a lot of independent advisors avoid lending conversations like the plague and only really talk about it reactively when their client approaches them with a problem. And there's 2 primary reasons for that. First, advisors lack visibility into their client's credit. So you might gather some light information at the start of the planning process, but for the most part, credit information remains static in your client's plan, which leads you really to wait for your client to approach you with a problem. It's not easy to anticipate your client's credit needs like you do in other areas of their financial plan when you're working with stale information. Secondly, funding loans is hard. Even when you're only acting as the referrer, sourcing the right lender can be fairly labor intensive just because in most cases, you're only picking up the phone and shopping around manually. And it can also be risky just because unless you've conducted fairly rigorous due diligence and really thoughtfully match your client to a lender based on their unique scenario, you're opening yourself up to the risk that you refer your client to a lender only for that deal to blow up after several weeks of underwriting. Not a fun position to be in. And that's a big problem for independent advisors, right? Because clients are expecting help with credit and lending, and private banks are actively competing against you for these deals. The Merrill Lynch's and JP Morgan's of the world use their aggressive pricing on lending solutions to get a foot in the door with a high net worth or ultra high net worth client. And once they have that lending relationship, they start soliciting the client for wealth services to poach the entire relationship. Now, the good news is that lending, while it can be fairly complex and at times feel convoluted, it's not rocket science. I think the problem that we're seeing in the wealth space really just comes down to a lack of concrete resources. So we here at Uptiq believe we've cracked the code, and we've developed a model that is shown to work really, really well for independent advisors. So without any delay, let me show you some of the tools Uptiq has created to help advisors offer more high-quality lending services at scale. So the first thing I'll show you is a tool that we call Liability360, which is really designed to help you address the lack of visibility into your client's credit. And you can really look at this as a planning tool for the liability side of your client's balance sheet. It works very simply. All you have to do is send the client an invite from our portal so they can authorize a recurring soft credit inquiry. And again, this is a soft credit inquiry, so it doesn't impact the client's credit at all. But once that's done, it'll activate a credit intelligence dashboard that you can see here, which essentially visualizes the client's credit report, allowing you to glean insight and make decisions. In the interest of time, I won't actually dive into every one of these metrics and their implications for the client. There's a lot to see here. What I'll do instead is actually switch over to the Insights tab, which is where we actually surface action steps the clients can take, behaviors they can change in order to strengthen their credit score, fortify their balance sheet, and really most importantly, on the right side of the screen here, we'll look at the client's existing book of loans and identify potential refinance opportunities based on market rates. So when you're working with a client and thinking through what they can do to improve their cash flow, this is the first place you should be going. But if you think about this at the simplest level, all we're really doing is giving you an opportunity to introduce credit and lending into your planning conversations, showing your clients that you can add meaningful value. And in doing so, you're establishing yourself as the trusted go-to resource for lending. Our number one goal as an organization is to create scenarios where when your client needs help with lending, they call you for first, rather than potentially shopping the loan on their own, exposing themselves to potential competitors. It really all just starts with the simple conversations you're having with clients. And this information gives you some very low-hanging fruit to engage your client more proactively when it comes to credit and lending. All right, so next I want to talk about actually funding loans, which is a key part of what we do here. And to be honest, it's the more difficult problem to solve. So once you've identified financing opportunities with one of your clients, potentially through the insights we're surfacing, or potentially your client approaches you with a problem, our platform offers embedded loan fulfillment infrastructure. So you're able to automatically fund the loan with one of our 60 plus contracted lenders. So we've built out an entire marketplace of lenders offering just about any type of loan an advisory client might need. Everything from a securities-backed line of credit or an S-block, all types of residential loans, luxury vehicle purchases for cars, boats, and aircraft, all the way to more complicated transactions like commercial loans. For any advisors out there who are working with or targeting business owners, commercial lending is absolutely essential, and it's a great way to get a foot in the door with clientele that maybe you didn't have access to before. We also just launched a brand new loan program. It's actually never been seen before in the industry, but it's for lending against alternative assets, and we're calling this type of financing an A-block. So think securities-backed lending or S-blocks. But instead of lending against marketable securities, we're using private equity and VC portfolios, which are highly illiquid assets as collateral for a loan. So really exciting. Again, it's never been done before in the industry. But we've created a formalized program that we're bringing to the market today. All right. So, and what I'll do from here is I can actually show you exactly what that loan fulfillment workflow looks like. So what I'll do is head back into the Uptiq platform. I'll pull up my go-to client here, Laurie Anderson, and we'll start a new request. We've created what's called a needs assessment, which you can look at as it's a 5-minute questionnaire. And all we're doing here is prompting you to ask the right questions, gathering the right information so that our system can narrow down the list of available loan products and start to match lenders who will want to do the deal. So we make this process really simple. You don't have to be a lending expert to navigate this workflow. And so the needs assessment will take you down a dynamic questionnaire. It'll start with the nature of the loan request. It'll also ask you, what's the anticipated use of the funds? And notice here, we're not asking you what's the loan product. We're asking you what the client's trying to accomplish, because 3 different loan products might be available for the same to solve the same problem. So in this case, let's keep it simple. Let's say Laurie wants to purchase a home. In this case, Samuel, our AI assistant, will surface the right starting point in our workflow. I do also want to point out that you can engage directly with Samuel at any point throughout our workflow. This is an AI bot that's been, it's available to answer high-level questions about the industry, as well as, questions specific to our workflow and to our lender network. Samuel's actually been trained on the product that you see here and can answer some very specific questions. AI is a big part of our roadmap in 2025, so you can expect to see Samuel playing a bigger role in future iterations of our workflow. So we'll go through the questionnaire pretty quickly here. Let's say this client's looking for a $600,000 mortgage. We'll ask them a little bit more about the loan request itself. So when are they trying to close? And from here, we'll pivot to some high-level information that's really meant to help us understand a little bit more about the client's personal balance sheet. So what's their total gross annual income? What's their income source? We're looking for their net worth. What are they paying towards their existing debt on an annual basis? What's their approximate cash liquidity? I won't add a cosigner right now. And then last section of questions will actually pivot to, the actual nature of the purchase. So I'll answer these last couple questions, and we'll move on to the indicative option stage. I will use my information here. And so what our system will do at this point, after we've gathered some of the light information, we'll automatically match this client up with a short list of lenders that we're reasonably confident will want to do this deal. You'll also get information on interest rates, points paid to the lender, and we'll even calculate the monthly payments. It's all information for you to use at your discretion that you're then able to share with the client. If they do want to proceed, we'll actually have you send the client a pre-qualification invite so they can upload their documentation and some more of the information we'll need to start underwriting and ultimately close the loan with one of our lenders. But hopefully you can see how easy we've made this process. It's really all designed with advisors in mind. Like I mentioned before, a lot of advisors are reluctant to engage with their clients around lending services just due to the lack of concrete resources available in the independent wealth space. But that's no longer the case with our platform. That's where I'll cut out here. Thank you all so much for the time today. And if you're interested in learning more about Uptiq lending, you can drop in at our booth for a little bit more information. We'll take the conversation from there.
So much of this event, Jared, is about, helping advisors talk to their clients about what's most important to them and the missing pieces maybe in planning that they might not have thought about before. And I can't think of a more relevant topic than making sure that you can, fund everything you need to, and you have a really good insight into the credit that's needed. So that was just phenomenal. Go see Jared and Uptiq's information at their booth. And thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Allison. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you so much to our tech sponsors for giving an amazing presentation in that group. Be sure to vote for your favorite companies using the awards option in the sidebar. And you're going to want to vote on these categories, so keep it in mind. Community impact, industry disruptor, and rising tech star for those new companies as well. Voting is going to happen within each of the demo groups, and 3 awards are going to be given out at the end of the event. So be sure to stay tuned for that as we wrap up.